a very, very special stream, everyone. We are live from Fantasy Football Fest for an exclusive stream with FPL Harry and FPL Raptor. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. Let me know in the chat if you can hear the sound okay. It's incredibly loud here at Fest. There's a lot going on, lots of FPL managers, lots of drinking. How are we doing, boys?
Yeah, good, thank you. Happy the deadline is finally here.
Yeah, I'm ready to lock in my team. I've done too much tinkering.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah, that's it. I've probably smashed through about 50 drafts myself, and I'm about ready for the deadline. I've got the armband on Salah. Either of you determined from Captain Salah, or are you thinking the same? Captain Salah?
Oh, yeah, Captain Salah.
Anyone shout not Captain Salah? What I want to know, you guys on Kane or Haaland?
We've had this chat enough times. Team Haaland.
We've got to have a chat for the stream, right?
Yeah, that Bournemouth at home fixture is too good to turn down for Haaland.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm Team Haaland. It's just all about that captaincy rotation.
You on Haaland as well?
Yeah.
Sound okay? Let me know in the chat if this sounds okay. I'll tell you what, it's absolutely heaving here, and we can barely hear ourselves speak, so hopefully you can hear us okay in the chat. Yeah, I'm on Kane myself. I have to be honest, I'm absolutely bricking it for Gameweek 2 when City play against Bournemouth. I'm not opposed to going from Kane to Haaland if I need to, if it looks like a mistake. It looks like chat's pretty divided. Hashman's gone Captain Kane, Brian's on Kane, Danny Way's gone Salah. Charlie says it's loud but good. I'm glad you can hear us okay. If you guys could just see the setup that's in front of me, I've brought my two monitors, like my PC, I've got the keyboard and mouse. It's a proper setup here. Anyway, thank you all. Welcome to the stream. Harry's a little distorted, so you have to hold it close to your mouth.
Yeah, I heard.
I told Harry, I said, hold it close to your mouth, mate. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Yeah. So we've got loads to talk about. We're going to have a look at Harry's team, we're going to have a look at Raptor's team, we're going to have a look at FPL Nima's team. Kraz is here, Mark Southerns is lurking about, Az is here, lots of content creators. FPL Mate disappeared, did you see?
Yeah, I don't know where Mate's gone off to.
Where's Mate gone? That was it. I think he's doing his own stream, but no worries, no worries. Yeah, it's absolutely packed here. What are you guys drinking?
As always, on the spice rum and coke.
Yeah. Ross and the Spice Rum and Coke guy. Yeah, cheers guys. I'm on the vodka cokes myself.
Everyone's saying my sound is awful. Let's see if it's any better when I put it close to me.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we'll share a
If
little
not,
one.
they can share the little egg mic. We might have to just hold it very close. We'll check how it looks on the sound mixer here.
Is this any better?
So yeah, this is how my team's lining up. It looks okay here. It might just turn you up a bit. That's you there. There we go. Hopefully it's a bit better.
Let's see what they think.
Yeah. It's a very improvised stream, and we're just using the free Wi-Fi here. So. Anyway, we're going to be here all the way to the deadline, so thank you all for tuning in. We've got 1,365 in right now. Unbelievable turnout.
That is incredible.
Unbelievable. I want to give a massive thank you to Ross and Eric for this. I've tagged both of them in the title of this video, so go check out their channel, go subscribe to them if you're not already. I'm sure you already are. Question from Albi Sadie says, Martinelli or Neto or Rashford? What do you guys think?
Martinelli will. I think Martinelli's the best mid-price sort of cheaper midfielder for me, so I'd say by some distance Martinelli.
Okay, what about you? Martinelli or Neto or Rashford?
Yeah, Martinelli for me. I like Neto as a pick. He's in my team, but Martinelli still comes top. He's the best player at that price. He's so underpriced. I feel like.
Sorry, you might have to turn this one down a bit. Like that. Let me know in the chat if that's better. What we might have to do, we might have to get Raptor and Harry sharing a mic. We did do a couple of sound tests, but obviously people are arriving, there's music on, there's all sorts going on here. So let us know in the chat if that's any better. If not, we'll get these two to share a microphone. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Anyway, people behind on the price.
Inject it! Come on, you
Spoon is here. You're on we've got what are we doing, mate? Good? Yeah. We've got FPL fella here as well. Everyone's arriving. We got a question from Max. It says better. Okay. Max says, hey Oscar, hope you had a great start to the season. It'd be great if you could check my team for any issues. I can't check that now, Max. You can't be serious. Max, there's absolutely no way I can check your team on Discord. Apologies. I don't even have Discord open right now. What I think we should do is we'll start off with a look at Raptor's team, since you can hear him okay. Let us know if Harry sounds better. Raptor, I want to pick your brains about your team, and whether this is your final team or not, whether you're locked in. This is how Raptor's lining up for Gameweek 1. Raptor, talk us through the team. What's going on here?
I feel like once you make the decision on sort of Diaz versus Robertson, I feel like the team pretty much picks itself, and of course Haaland versus Kane as well. So like 9 of the players pretty much picked themselves for me once I made those decisions. And then it basically just came down to those final 2 spots you can see, basically Trippier and Bailey. And I'm still not 100% set on those 2 positions. It's basically Trippier versus Perisic, and then the Bailey spot could be Bailey, Neto or Martinelli. This team does have 1 million in the bank. So I could even go like Trippier to Perisic and Bailey to Neto. So I've got a little bit of money to play with. If the chat want to try and convince me to go with someone else other than Trippier and Bailey, let me know.
What do you think, Harry?
I mean, it's pretty good. I'm on Team Robertson over Diaz. I think 7 million versus 8 million is that bit of a bargain compared to him. I'm not sold on that Chelsea Spurs game, and I've said it a lot of times. Like, I find that game so difficult to call. But I basically have gone, I don't want either team in my Game Week 1 draft. So I've got no Chelsea and no Spurs, which makes me have that defensive spot free where I can have Robertson in here, which is basically the only real difference between our 2 teams. It's nice. I like Haaland as well.
It's a good team.
Bailey versus Neto was a big one. I don't think there's much to pick between them. My only thing with Bailey is I feel like if I go in, I've got to leave $500,000 in the bank, because if he doesn't do well, I basically no one else's price is worth having. So I've got to upgrade it straight away. It's not good.
They're just saying they can't use it.
Can't hear Harry at all.
Let's go in with this one.
We'll get these 2 sharing a mic. So I think one of the biggest predicaments going into Gameweek 1 is Luis Diaz or Robertson and Kane v Haaland. Those are like the 2 big predicaments. What I'm going to do, I'm going to mute Harry, and then you 2 just share that one, right?
Yeah, we'll share this one.
Yeah, you turned it off. All right, muted you.
I'm muted it, yeah.
All right, there we go. I did wonder if 3 mics are too much, because this is my first time ever doing a stream in person with someone else, and we've got like 3 mics plugged in. We've got like 2 monitors, my computer, keyboard and mouse. There's a lot going on here. We use the 2 mics, but like Ray says, much better. I saw Carl said nice team, Raptor. I think chat are keen on the team.
What do you guys think on the Bailey versus Neto versus Aronson debate? So in my team, that midfield spot, I really want Neto, I really want Aronson, and I really want Bailey.
I love that you're putting Aronson in this debate. Like, for everyone else, it is Neto versus Bailey.
Yeah, I really
and Raptor's like, I'm going to add Aronson in here.
Listen guys, I think, I was saying before my stream, I think that's the spot in your team where you can take a bit of a risk. And I think that going for like an Aronson in midfield or a player that you think can do well, the rest of our teams look quite similar. So I've got a bit of a feeling about Aronson, but let me know in the chat if anyone else has Aronson in their team.
Yeah, I want to know if anyone chats on Aronson. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he get all his attacking returns in their final pre-season game?
He did get 3 assists, but I think he picked up something before that.
Did he?
I
Okay.
don't know.
Knee jerk in my books.
Someone with psychology might tell us that that's recency bias, but
Yeah.
we'll never know.
Yeah. I'll take...
Psychology against me.
All right, Harry's got the mic in his hand, so let's have a look at Harry's team and pick his brains. Harry, are you locked in?
Yeah, locked in.
Locked
it's not
in.
changing. Apart from the Ward vice captaincy, which is on Haaland. Ward is not my vice captain. Haaland will be, but yeah, apart from that, we're locked in.
You can't say that now. You've got to go vice captain Ward, mate. It's in the screenshot. Yeah, so one thing that I really like that Harry's done here is he's gone triple Arsenal attack, which I've not seen in many drafts. I don't know if you saw, but I did a video on the optimal FPL team and it had triple Arsenal attack. I think it could go pay off big. Is anyone else in the chat on the triple Arsenal attack? Personally, I'm on just a double. I wanted to have Gabriel, I wanted to have Ramsdale, but it's a good team, mate. You're on Neto, not Bailey.
Sorry?
You're on Neto, not Bailey.
Yeah, Neto. Again, like the first 2 fixtures are slightly better for Bailey, but like over the first 6, I'm Neto over Bailey, and I hate booking in transfers. I know that something will go wrong in my starting 11 that I'll need to use it on, so I've got, let me pick the player that I'm happy with for the longer term, and I've gone with Neto for that.
Have you spent all your money or anything in the bank?
No, nothing in the bank for this one. Again, Neto to Bailey, I wouldn't want to spend it because I know straight away that Bailey, if he doesn't do well, there's no one else's price that I really want. So it would be straight away that I need $500,000 spare to do Bailey up to someone at 5.5. So I may as well start with Neto and all that investment there straight away.
Makes sense. There's a question from Nak. He says, what's your thoughts on Lingard? What are you guys thinking of Lingard? Obviously, a couple of seasons back, on loan at West Ham, he was phenomenal. It looked almost essential. What do you think about Lingard at Forest?
As a Manchester United fan, I'm obviously slightly sceptical. Lingard goes through these spells. We saw it with West Ham. He will go through a spell where he'll score like 5 and 3. And he tends to do very well in cup competitions as well, but I would be doubtful that he would be a good own until bring him in once he starts that run of form. Because trying to predict when he's going to go on that run is impossible.
We've got FPL mate in the chat. He says the collab nobody knew we needed. Dan, I just wish you were here with us, mate.
Yeah, where are you, Dan?
I know that, to be fair, Dan's doing a stream as well, which is fair enough. I wish he could have joined us. But I have to say, I don't know if you can tell from the stream, we're absolutely crammed in against the wall here. We're huddled up, us three. But no, we hope to get a few guests on just stream as well. Dark Radio says, FPL mate, jump in. Dan, if you're still in the building, come get involved, mate. Interesting question from Pedro. He says, what are your thoughts on Callum Wilson?
I love Callum Wilson. He's a great option. I looked at his data though, because I had him in my team sort of a few weeks ago. Really bad data last season. So he is quite reliant on penalties as things stand. But he's talismanic. He'll play 90 minutes. He's on pens. Good fixtures. I don't mind him at all. But I think maybe we wait and see what happens with Newcastle.
Yeah. It's those first two fixtures, especially Forest at home. It wouldn't have surprised me at all if he kicks the season off of a haul. But it's just his injury record as well. It's a bit off-putting for me. So.
Yeah, my only thing with him is that the opening fixtures where we're saying Newcastle have good fixtures, they're much better for me from a defensive point of view than from an attacking point of view. Like Forest at home, again, Forest are probably the best defensive team coming up. Then Brighton away and Wolves away are the two other fixtures that we're looking to target. Again, for me, like it's better defensively than it is for going forward, which is why like Trippier's in my team, but I don't have Wilson because I back the clean sheets more than I back attacking returns.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah, I like the Arsenal triple up. I was on it for a while. I do wonder if Saka's on penalties. I think he took the last one in pre-season against Sevilla, scored it. And I saw Odegaard in an interview. He was asked who's on penalties basically, and he said he thinks it's Saka because he converted the last one, but it could be whoever's feeling confident on the day. What do you guys think of my draft then? I'll bring it back to my team. This is how I'm shaping up here. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll roast Oscar's draft.
What a double Aston Villa.
Yes.
In triple Aston Villa, there's actually a triple up there with Archer on the bench.
Technically the triple up with Archer, yeah.
Listen, I like it. I think the thing that I like about this and the thing that I've been tempted to do is I like the double City defence. Because I think a lot of people are going to own one City defender, so to gain on the crowd, I think the double City defence is needed. And listen, Bournemouth and Everton in the first two for Villa. Luka Dean and Bailey double up could be amazing.
That's what I'm punting on. I saw Parker had some, worry. He had some real concerns about Bournemouth and how they're shaping up going into Gameweek 1 this season. He said they're actually in worse shape than when they got promoted. So I do wonder if it's actually a fixture that's maybe flying under the radar for Gameweek 1. So yeah, I've doubled up. It's a bit of a punt, but I like the Bailey pick. 3 goals, 2 assists in pre-season. And obviously Dina's got the attacking returns. Yeah.
Are you planning an early wildcard with this team, or are you thinking that you'll move out Luka Dean and Bailey slowly around sort of Gameweek 4?
Right, so yeah, one thing I've done here is I've left myself 0.5 in the bank. So if it looks like I've made a mistake with Dina, then he could become Perisic in Gameweek 3, for example. Or likewise, Bailey could go up to a 5.5 midfielder. I noticed in your previous team selection videos, you both had Perisic, but you don't now. What's happened there? Why no Perisic? What's happened with Perisic?
Yeah, for Perisic again, like the Spurs press conference put me off a little bit. They said that he's not, and both him and Doherty are not necessarily fully fit. He's great when he's fit, but are they going to be ready? And then there was talk about their training photos today of him, both Doherty and Perisic not being with the main squad and them training with the substitute team. Now, how much is to be written into this, I don't quite know, but it was enough to give me that sort of confirmation bias I needed to not own them for Gameweek 1, and I went Trippier instead. Trippier Gameweek 1 and 2 is really nice fixtures, as we mentioned, and then if I want Spurs come Gameweek 3, then that's fine, I can move sideways, but I'm like, Gameweek 1 and Gameweek 2, let's have Trippier, see how Spurs do, let's see how Perisic and Doherty get on, and then I can potentially move sideways. I want to make sure that this is now working fine and the order is much better. But if the chat could just tell us, that'd be great.
Yeah, let us know. Sean says, where are you? We're at Fantasy Football Fest. We're in London by London Bridge. Yeah, it's an event that's held like a couple of times a season. I can't recommend it enough. I've only been to one before now, and it's a really good crack. Lots of drinking, lots of like-minded people. Yeah, definitely recommend Fest if you haven't been to one before. Yeah, so what do you think? What do you think of the team? Kane over Haaland? No go?
I've got absolutely no issues with this team, and I think the thing is Diaz versus Robertson and Kane versus Haaland, we'll just go around in circles, we could discuss it for months. They're 50-50 decisions at the end of the day. I think all 4 of them are great options, and there's justification to go for all of them. I think the safer, more nailed options are Robbo and Kane.
The riskier, maybe with a slightly higher ceiling, would maybe be Diaz and Haaland. So think about what sort of manager you are. I think probably the more sensible, if I'm advising from a logical, sensible content creator's perspective, it's probably Robertson and Kane. But I like a little bit of upside chasing, and I think Diaz and Haaland have that. Whereas you've got a bit of both. Right? If you have like Robertson and Haaland, maybe you have the best of both worlds.
There's a good question here from Leapok, who asks, is Rashford too risky? You've got your Man United shirt, a Man United fan. What do you think of the Man United assets?
I don't want to lie to anyone. I would say I'm 95% confident Rashford starts the first couple. But where he plays, I don't know. So I've seen a few people say he's definitely going to play up front. We actually played in the Wrexham game behind closed doors. We played a false nine with Bruno in the false nine. So we could quite easily see Bruno in the false nine. We could see Eriksen in the false nine. We could see Garnacho coming in. So I think Rashford will start. I don't know whether it'll be on the left or through the middle, but I think he's a decent option. And since Martial's injury, he becomes an even better option.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Martial, big miss because he was flying in pre-season. I wonder if Ronaldo starts. Maybe it's too soon.
I am slightly worried. Like Brighton in the first fixture, and obviously Martial's injured. Sancho was ill, so he's not been in full training. I am a little bit worried that we're not going to click in that first game. I predicted a 1-1 draw. I wouldn't be surprised if we struggled to score.
I remember last season there was that massive upset. I think, was it 4-0?
Yeah, we lost 4-0 to Brighton.
Yeah, no. But I think United are going to have a much better season myself. So I think there's going to be value there. But I think they're a wait and see in the Man United game. Yeah. How are we doing? Hey, come get involved. We've got Nathan Bacon here.
Hello. Are we ready? Are we locked in, lads?
Yeah.
All locked in.
Nathan, Kane or Haaland?
See, I usually would go Haaland, but I go Kane.
Kane. Yeah, good guess, mate. Yeah, these two are on Haaland. I'm on Kane.
What happens? Game week 2, Haaland's got Bournemouth at home. What are you doing then?
I'm getting him in.
Oh, so you're doing the switch? Yeah, doing the little hokey cokey.
You're not opposed to making a switch if it looks like a mistake?
No, I might even go salad with this one.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
I'm not going to
That feels a stretch too far.
There's a question here from Dimitri. He says, why are you going Kane if Gameweek 2 are buying Haaland? So I think the idea is you're going to get Kane, but you'll keep him if it looks like the right decision. If Kane blanks, Haaland scores, it's going to be hard to avoid that switch, right? Is that the thinking? Raptor.
My issue with this, and I've said this before, I think if you go Kane to Haaland, I think from game week 3 onwards, I'd rather Kane. So I think all you're going to be doing is going Kane, Haaland, Kane. So I think if you start with Kane, I think you hold him through game week 2 and you captain Salah. I don't think it makes, because then you're going to want Kane back. Well, that's personally what I would do. I think the alternative is you go Haaland in game week 1 and 2, and then you switch to Kane. I don't think you want to keep on switching back and forth repeatedly. I think the maximum you want to do is make that switch once. So you need to decide where that switch is for you.
It's going to be really hard not to sell Kane if he does blank on game week 1, but I think you're right. You look at the fixtures, game week 3 onwards, you want to have Kane for these fixtures anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, 4 and 6 are Kane's the best captaincy option against Forest and Fulham. So it seems strange to just sell him for 1 week and then buy him back. I feel like repeatedly using your free transfer on Kane and Haaland will come back to bite you eventually.
Lysander says 3 goats in one stream.
It's the freemium draft.
It's the freemium stream, yeah. He says free Frankie, United's only hope. Do you still want to sign Frankie, or do you feel like Frankie's a no-go after this whole drama in the transfer window?
He's probably going to come to one of our teams. I don't know what's going on with that. It's been a bit of a mess, to be honest. It's been a bit embarrassing as a Man United fan, but we'll have to wait and see.
Sukan said, he's gone now. Sorry, Sukan. Nathan. Someone in the chat says, unlucky. Jack Milner says Martinelli and Mount or Bailey and Saka. What do you reckon to this one?
Sorry, what was that?
Martinelli and Mount or Bailey and Saka? That's a really good question. I'll go after Harry.
I'm going to go with Martinelli and Mount purely because Martinelli for me is that, like, if not the best value player I think we've got for game week 1, because Smith throws out. 6 million for Martinelli, being on set pieces, being on penalties if he wins them, is just too good. Again, like, if he starts, I think he's first choice over Smith Rowe even when he comes back. And if you look at those game week 3 and 4 fixtures in particular, Bournemouth and Fulham, I want Martinelli as value. Saka versus the other 8 million mids, there is a debate there, but for me Martinelli is the best value at that price.
Makes sense, yeah. I think Saka's actually going to score highest. out of all the 8mm mids. I've got on the record and set it now. I think Saka's probably going to be the top 8mm midfielder.
I was speaking to someone the other day and they were talking about if Martinelli scores 80% of Saka's points, then he's probably a good pick still when we're looking at pricing. So that's maybe a nice way to think about it. And I think Saka is the best value 8mm mid, and I think Martinelli's the best value 6mm mid. So like we're looking at Harry's draft, where he's got Jesus, Saka and Martinelli. Like, it makes sense to have the Arsenal triple up when you look at it like that, because in and of their own right, they are the most valuable players at that price point. So
I'll tell you what though, I feel nervous for Harry because tonight it's Arsenal, it's Crystal Palace v Arsenal. He's got triple attack. If tonight finishes 0-0 or something, I don't think he's going to be anywhere to be seen. He's going to be in the early taxi, right?
Yeah, I'm going home. That game ends 1-0 Palace, 0-0. Like, all I'm hoping for is like one attack in return somewhere. Minimum.
Surely.
Like, you've got to expect Arsenal to score tonight, right? Like, Palace away is not an easy fixture, but you'd expect Arsenal to put one in the back of the net. The chances of them not getting at least an assist, like, I feel is quite low, but I am a little bit nervous.
And the problem is, everyone's got Jesus. Everyone. He's broke the record as the top owned player all time. 76% ownership. It's probably gone up even more by now. So yeah, any returns you get from Jesus barely affect your rank. So yeah, you need these other differentials, you know, which Martinelli and Saka are. Martinelli and Saka are relative to Jesus. I like the triple up. Yeah, I think it could come off, but I didn't have the balls to do it myself.
Yeah, again, I keep saying it, but I'm holding them for the first four because Leicester at home in game week 2. Although I own Ward in my team, Leicester defensively, especially if Fofana's gone by then, look weak defensively, with Pereira out as well. Then Bournemouth in game week 3, as we spoke about targeting, then Fulham in game week 4, and then even Villa at home in game week 5. Like, over that course of the run, do I think any 8 million midfielders outscore Saka? Do I think any 6 million midfielders outscore Martinelli? Like, at their prices, I like all three of them feels a lot, but individually I like them all. So
there's a few questions in the chat about Zinchenko. What do you think of Zinchenko?
yeah, his underlying data was really, really good for City last year, but that is City, and it's a different ballgame with Arsenal. I just think that Gabriel's a known entity for Arsenal. We know he scored 5 goals last season. He's good from set pieces. Crystal Palace and Leicester are really poor at conceding from set pieces, so I think I prefer Gabriel and Ramsdale to Zinchenko just at the moment, but all three of them are great. And I mean, you could even go for like Saliba and White at 4.5.
Yeah, I think there's going to be 100% value in those 4.5 defenders. I'm just not sure which will actually emerge as the first choice, because you've got Tomiyasu, you've got White, and obviously it's Saliba.
Once Tomiyasu's back, it's going to be White and Saliba battling it out. But I mean, the Arsenal fans I've spoke to seem to think that Saliba is ahead of White, but
I think he is.
You spent a lot of money on White, so
yeah, we loaned Saliba out for the last couple of seasons. He was arguably the best defender last season in Ligue 1. So yeah, I think he could be first choice, and yeah, we need to appease him because he wants out. Otherwise, he's stuck around this whole time. So I think Saliba's one to monitor, but yeah, for me it's probably Gabriel, Ramsdale, and then Zinchenko in that order. I'm just not sure what Tierney's return is going to have on Zinchenko. Maybe Zinchenko moves up to midfield, but yeah, an interesting one. They're good picks. There's a question here: Neto and Diaz, and bench one, or plus 0.5 mil, or Foden and Nico Williams on the bench. So you're going to have to bench one on Nico and Diaz or Foden.
I feel like benching Diaz doesn't make sense unless you've got someone else from like game week 2 that's a lot cheaper that you would eventually bench. But I feel like 6 million spot on your bench each week seems crazy. So I mean, I think an £8 million mid and Nico Williams on the bench probably from a structural perspective makes more sense.
Who do you guys think is the best 4.5 mil forward? It feels like everyone's got a 4.5 mil forward. Who do you guys think is the best one? We've got Archer, we've got Plange, Taylor, Greenwood.
I think Cameron Archer or Plange look like the two that will get the most minutes, and because they're not that highly owned yet, they won't go down immediately if people sell them, whereas Greenwood's still quite highly owned, isn't he? So I would probably say Cameron Archer then Plange, probably.
There's a question here from Almost. Harry, if I'm not mistaken, you've got Ward.
Yeah.
I think you're starting him.
Yeah.
Almost says, is Ward injured? Do you know if that's the case, or is he expected to start, or is he going to be a Versum for game 1?
Yeah, so we heard in the press conference today that Ward played in a behind closed doors game on Tuesday or Monday.
and then he came through it fine and didn't have any problems with it. And he's also said, Rodgers has also said that he thinks Ward is a number one capable keeper. So for me, I think he'll be the Leicester number one going forward. It's just that little bit of a question about whether he's fit enough to quite start that Brentford at home game. But for me, hearing Rodgers say that he came through it fine, he's got no problems, he'd also trained for a week before that match as well, made me think that Ward will start that game and be first choice ongoing. Again, I don't really need him, to be honest, much longer because I got Sanchez on my bench. It's more just game week 1. But I think Ward will be first choice, and I think he'll probably start game week 1 as well.
Yeah, and it's not the end of the world, you know, if it is Sanchez against Man United. Harry, as a Chelsea fan, I've got a question for you. I was seeing today that Chelsea confirmed that Cucurella is signed. I want to know, what do you think of Cucurella? 5 mil, Chelsea defender. Is he one to pick up game week 1 or one to keep an eye on?
So, to start off with, this tweet is absolutely fantastic. Like Chelsea admin, they absolutely have had Brighton for dinner there. But yeah, we've heard that he might be in the squad for the first game against Everton. I don't think he'll start, and I actually don't think he'll then start against Spurs. I think throwing him into that game the first time in the Chelsea team against Spurs is unlikely. So I think game week 3 onwards, he might be a great pick, but I don't think he'll start 1 or 2. So maybe look to go and buy him then. But it sounds like he's been bought to play at left centre-back rather than on the left wing-back. So 5 million for a Chelsea defender is still great, but you've got to consider that he's unlikely to play at left wing-back because Chilwell will play there. He'll play next to Thiago Silva probably on that, where Rudiger used to play. Now we can get forward, even from centre-back, but I would wait and see on him before owning him game week 1.
Good answer. There's a question here, Dino or Cody? Who would you say, Dino or Cody?
Definitely Luca Dean. I'm not convinced by the Wolves defence, and Cody, whilst he does get the odd attacking return, he actually got a few last year. The data's not great for him. So I mean, I would prefer like Johnny and Eight Nuri if I'm going to go to a Wolves defender. So I would say Luca Dean out of those two.
I'm not sure if Cody's 100% going to start even, right? I think he's being linked with a move away.
Well, really? Okay, then Eight Nuri's a good shout.
And they signed Collins from Burnley, right? So yeah, I'm not sure about that one. But on the subject of Wolves, I don't know if you two saw this. FPL Wonderboy tweeted, if he gets 5,000 likes, by the deadline he'll triple captain Neto. I think
he looks like he would have hit it.
I took this screenshot about half an hour ago and he has 4,700. If you guys haven't, go like this. So let's get him to triple captain Neto, give me one. We'll ruin his season.
That's the sort of thing that's going to actually go well, won't it? Neto brace.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it came off. Yeah. But yeah, go do that, guys.
By the way, guys, if you're watching this and you've not yet subscribed to Mr. FPL Focal, please do so, because he's almost approaching 100,000 subscribers. So, get subscribed.
We're on the road to 100, we're on the road to the play button. This is what I was worried about, the people coming in behind the screen to get involved.
Thoughts on Eight Nuri, Coutinho and Walker? Eight Nuri I love as an option, but I do think that I prefer the £5 million defenders. I think Coutinho could potentially do well. He's one of my favourite £7 million mids, but again, I think there might be better value in like the Martinellis and the Netos and the Baileys. And then Walker, again, I don't mind Walker to cover the City defence, but I feel like, again, Luca Dean, Trippier, potentially, even if you get up to Perisic, if you want to take the risk, they might be better options. So, yeah.
Thanks for asking them to subscribe. I'll throw it back at you. If you guys haven't subscribed to Raptor and Harry, I've tagged them in the title of this video. Go subscribe to them. Absolutely quality content creators at the top of their game. They've been grinding up the pre-season, so go show some support to them.
There's enough subscribers for everyone.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's nice because I know we've got a lot of overlap in our following as well.
Oh, Wonderboy already on 5,200 likes. There you go, Wonderboy hit it.
Got an update. He's done it. All right. He better lock it in, otherwise he's going to have no reputation left in the game.
There's no morals. If you say you're going to do it, you got to do it.
I just got paid by Patreon. Hopefully that doesn't come up on the screen. Drinks are on me, boys.
He got paid £10,000, I bet.
Yeah, nowhere near that much. Not even a tenth for that. Not even 100 for that. Fella, who's your armband on Gameweek 1?
Thoughts about Christensen for Leeds?
No burn, okay.
I think Bayern's too expensive.
Too expensive. It's an awkward price point. Hard because fella's a West Ham fan, he can't see me, just soft screen, but the Bowen's not the one for you.
No, not for me. The fixtures don't say a lot for me. Maybe from Gameweek 7.
Gameweek 7, okay. I thought West Ham's fixtures looked okay from
there's a couple.
The City game.
Gameweek 2, 3 and 4 look alright. Yeah. They're not great though.
A bit of news that Skamaka will not feature on Monday at all.
Really? Okay. In case you didn't hear that, Fellow was saying Scamacci won't feature this game week at all. Yeah, I do wonder what impact Scamacci is going to have on Antonio.
Is that about me? He's a 10 but wears a Man United shirt. I'm taking that as a compliment if that's about me.
That's about you, mate.
Are you saying I'm a 10? Tyler, if you're saying I'm a 10 out of 10, I'm all for that.
Tyler Scott says he's a 10 but he wears a Man United shirt. Yeah.
So he's a 6.
What's the scale? It's like a 10 out of 20.
It's up to 10, mate. You're both a couple of 10 out of 10s. Look at you. There's a lot of absolutely smashed people here already. I got here this morning, so I'm about 5 beers ahead of these two. But Raptor got here about 10 minutes before we went live. But I'm glad you're both here anyway. We've got a question here from Adam Cannons. He says, which 5-0 defender is the best one? So who are the options in the 5-0 bracket?
Well, Carl Walker, Luca Dean, Matty Cash, Trippier, Doherty, Gabriel, Zinchenko. Probably not looking at more than that realistically. I'm on Trippier again. I think their fixtures are great from a defensive point of view on all set pieces. He looked good from open play in the past couple of pre-season games as well. The others are good. Like I like Zinchenko. I like Walker as well. Walker's that guy who's going to tick along really well, but he's never going to really explode is my concern with him. And early on I'm going for a bit more of an explosive player. But 8 million defender, who would you go with? 5 million even. 8 million you can go for a lot of them, but 5 million.
Yeah, I think Harry and I both have Trippier, so I think that would be where we'd go. But there are loads of good options. You've got Luca Dean, Trippier, Walker, even Gabriel, I think if you've not got Ramsdale. Even Diogo Dalot at 4.5, you could go for if you wanted to.
That's a spicy pick. There was
People are asking for opinions on their team, of course, from the FPL experts.
No, it's just above that. I've lost it. Yeah, this is it. So Paul Mansell says the FPL site is struggling. So that's a reminder. If you haven't locked your team
Look, I've told him in the chat.
get that done as early as possible.
Get those teams locked in. I wouldn't make any changes any later than about 6:15 at the latest. Probably more like 6.
Yeah, that's it. I would lock your team in now if you can.
Deadline is 6:30 p.m.
There was that infamous game week last season when the website crashed.
There was.
About 5 minutes before the deadline. It happened to be one of the only game weeks all season I wasn't streaming, but there was a lot of YouTubers. I don't know if you were in the compilation or not, and they were like,
I wasn't streaming. Luckily, I wasn't streaming.
It was an incredible rant from Let's Talk FPL and a few others as well. I think FPL Mate as well was struggling with it. Who's the best 4.5-0 defender? Anyone other than Dalot, or is it Dalot?
I don't mind Sven Botman. I don't mind Dalot. Probably, if you can get away with benching him in game week 1 and 2, it's probably Lewis Dunk.
Dunk? If you can bench him game week 1.
Like if you can bench him like I've done with Sanchez, like game week 1, maybe game week 2 as well, or game week 3, then I think Dunk. Ben Mee. Ben Mee. You're setting me up for some Ben Mee related jokes here. You want to have me in your team, do you? Anyway, but yeah, I like Ben Mee. Again, he's the type of player like Dunk. You need to bench him early on this season because again, like Raya, Ben Mee, game week 1 and 2 is difficult. Saliba and Ben White. If you want to take the risk that when Tomiyasu comes back, you have the right one, then go for it because I think they're the best ones to go for. But I don't want to take the risk that I've got the wrong one.
Makes sense. What do you guys think about Grealish? Question here from KK. Thoughts on Grealish?
That fixture was enough to put me off. That Community Shield game.
Get it in the stream.
Now a good time.
Things are starting.
Come on, you Spurs!
Things are starting to get a bit lawless here.
Come on, the South!
Gameweek 39 champions.
Come on, Raptor!
Honestly.
Up the kebabs.
Honestly.
North East South champions. Thanks to this man here. In fact, these two.
What's that?
About the game.
Yeah, anyone watching that watched Game Week 39, the North were absolutely shocking, embarrassing performance, and we've got Mr. David Monday here and Peter, two of our man of the matches over there. What do you want to say about it, lads?
Sorry, missing question. What's that?
Let's talk about Game Week 39.
Well, I mean, what an event. I mean, we'll talk about the trophy in a minute. First up, we're at Fantasy Football Fest, so we're at an event where we're bringing fantasy managers together. It's been a fantastic year for bringing everyone together for great events. And Game Week 39, I think it's going to go on forever. What do you think? It was good, wasn't it? It was great to bring everyone together. It was great to have some fun. It was also really great to make Team North feel really embarrassed about it at the same time. It was so good. They gave us so much trust coming into the game. And we worked hard, didn't we, lads? We worked really hard.
And man of the match performance from FPL Harry.
I think that's pushing it a bit far. Nacho might have a few things to say about it, but it was a good day. And yeah, making that North team feel like they hadn't put in enough work and that they pushed us down and down on the memes throughout pre-season or pre-Gameweek 39 season, then it felt so great.
I'd still be in hiding. If I was Team North, I wouldn't have come out yet. I'd be embarrassed.
Ed and Gianni are only here because they're hosting it. That's about the only reason.
And they're Southerners as well.
From David in.
Question. I mean, obviously you did great in the game, but could you talk us through how you didn't score in the last 2 minutes when you were clean through on goal and a break off from a corner? Can you just talk us through that chance?
I just saw my name in lights. Like I was too focused on, what celebration I was going to do when I put it in, when I rounded the keeper, like what I was going to do. Too focused on that, and then
We've got Henry Sable. He says move on.
Says move on.
I'm pretty sure he was the goalkeeper.
Yeah. Oh, Henry.
Yeah, sorry to do you dirty like that. You were incredible in the game, but the Harry owners were pretty frustrated by that. So I just felt obliged. I needed to ask you. So there we go.
I want to get involved next year. Definitely, I'll be involved next year. We'll keep hold of that. What else, guys? What do you want to talk about? We've got about 45 minutes ahead of us before the deadline.
The big discussion.
I was going to do a captain poll to see who everyone's got the armband on. Should we do
Salah 80%.
Should we see how strong the Salah captaincy is?
The other thing we can do a poll on after is we can ask how many premiums do people have in their team, because I think that's divided people a lot, like 1, 2 or 3, and just put it in the chat once Oscar's done spamming his links about how many premiums you've got in your team. So 1, 2 or 3. I've got 2 and I think it creates the best balance, but a lot of people on 1 or 3 as well help spread that money around.
That's a good point. I'll create a poll about that. So the question was, how many premiums do you have?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even worth having none as an option, is it?
No, 1, 2 or 3, maybe 4. Salah's up at 90% captaincy already on the poll. 6% on Harry
I
Kane.
need to ask Mark Summons if
4% on Son.
going Salah-less or not.
Maybe we should show him this poll and he might bowl it and go and get him in.
Yeah, that's it. He's over there, but he's...
Wow, 90% on Salah.
So what are the results looking like?
Imagine this isn't even like who owns Salah. This is who owns imagine not owning Salah. I can't even imagine not captaining Salah.
It must be like 150% effective ownership from the deadline.
Amongst top managers, we're probably looking at 180%, I reckon.
Yeah, people are answering in the chat how many premiums they're on, so we'll chuck that poll up as well. Let's copy that link. Yeah, get your votes in.
Are we all on 2 premiums? Yeah. We're all on 2.
If someone could just ban Oscar for spamming in the chat, please, that'd be great.
someone mute fplfocal. So yeah, the question is how many premiums do you have? I'm on 2. I think there's a case for the one-eum, if that's what we can call it, the one-eum. Premium, I think it probably hurts the balance too much.
I've been very tempted by the 1 premium draft, because if you're happy captaining the premium that you've got most weeks, it makes the rest of the team so much stronger. I mean, going from like a Son down to like a 7 million amount, you've got like 5 million to spread around your team. It's just if it goes wrong, you're in a bit of a sticky situation. You've got to be willing to play an early wildcard. If you're going for a 1 premium, I think early wildcard's fairly likely.
And it looks like, interestingly, about 80% are on 2 premiums. 3 is actually more popular than 1. That surprises me. I feel like you can probably spread the money better on a one-eum. 3, I think, takes away from the value that the premium defenders have this season. Interesting results.
I suppose a lot of the 3 premiums will have Ward and Iverson, and then also Kyle Walker in. Those 2 players in over Cancelo makes it a little bit more doable, but I still think 2 is the way to go.
I'm absolutely loving Raptor there with the trophy. He's hugging it like it's a teddy bear. Alvin Blocks is on 2 premiums. Few people will recognise Alvin Blocks. He's got his own YouTube channel. I think he's on about 300k subscribers. Alvin Blocks. Will Any, I think I saw in the chat as well. Interesting question here. Who do you think will finish top? I'm not sure if this is in terms of FPL rank or if it's going to be Man United, Chelsea and Arsenal. Maybe we'll do both questions. Who's going to finish top out of us 3?
I think I'm winning both of those. We'll take FPL Harry and Chelsea out of all of it straight away.
I was going to be really like humble and modest then and go, you 2 are great managers. Harry just goes in with a kill. I'm going to beat you in both. No, but genuinely, I think Arsenal will finish above Chelsea, Man United.
Yeah.
and I think you two will probably both finish higher than me for FPL rank. Yeah, Praz, come on.
We've got Praz here. Welcome to the stream, Praz. We've got Praz. It's good to have you. I actually have a screenshot of your team here, Praz. I wanted to ask if you're still on the same team or not.
I am 100% on the same team.
Still on the same team. So this is how Praz is lining up for Gameweek 1. He's gone 5 at the back. It's the first 5 at the back I've seen among the content creator gang. What's the thinking here, Praz? No, we're back 4, Praz.
Look.
Talk us through this team.
My thing is, the guys that I want going forward are Chilwell, Perisic, Cucurella, and those are the guys that Diaz is holding the spot for. So I've saved some money. I have Diaz there sitting there. First 2 game weeks gets me 6 to 8 points. I'll take that. And then after game week 2, I go for Chilwell that nobody has or whoever else. Obviously, the weak spot is I don't have an 8 million mid. But honestly, I back James to outscore Mount, Robertson to outscore Diaz. So who am I really missing? So,
Mount to outscore Diaz?
Robertson to outscore Diaz.
Robertson, okay.
Yeah. So I'm happy with 5 at the back because I think I will want 5 defenders over the period. So it used to be Perisic before the news broke out today, and it's now Diaz is holding the spot. I've got 0.5 in the bank. So if Bailey becomes rubbish, he's upgraded to Neto, and that's where I'm at.
So for anyone that missed it, what was the news of Perisic today?
Look, what I made of the news is, even if he starts, he is not ready. So he's not going to make 60 minutes. So either he starts and you are basically sweating if he makes 60 minutes or not, or he's on the bench. So I'm happy to wait because he's got Chelsea game week 2, and then I'll get him game week 3.
That was exactly my thinking. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those you can probably afford to wait until game week 3. In your case, you've got quite a lot of flexibility there. You could go Diaz down to Perisic if it looks like Perisic is the one to have come game week 3.
Absolutely.
It's a nice team. I don't remember a season quite like this when there was so much value at the back, right? The premium defenders. So it feels like a rarity where 5 at the back actually looks viable. And I like what you've done with it.
This will be that, as I said, the guys who I fear, because I'm going to save a transfer. That's why I've gone Haaland. If possible, obviously.
Yeah.
And so who do I want game week 3 after Spurs have played Chelsea? I want Spurs and Chelsea wingbacks. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's a solid team. I hope it works out for you. I'm a bit nervous because you 3 are all on Haaland and I'm on Kane.
I think we should be nervous game week 1. You'll be nervous game week 2.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not opposed to the switch if it looks like a mistake, but I was listening to your video on Scout and you were saying whoever you go with, you should probably just stick with, because you want to have Kane come game week 3. So it's going to be tough to not make that transfer if it looks like a mistake.
Well, look, what you have to do is, I went through the scenarios by the way, so I'm not going to repeat it, but you have to stay strong. Even if Kane scores and Haaland doesn't, make the switch if you really think that switch is worth it. But then you're behind the others who are saving a transfer. So you really need Kane to score a brace and Haaland to blank, which I don't think is as likely, because I think Haaland should do well as well.
Praz, while you're here, there's a question. What do you think of the Ward and Iversen double up?
Sorry, repeat that?
Ward and Iversen, the goalkeeper duo. What do you think of it?
My problem is my window to wildcard is game week 9. And between game week 1 and game week 8, Leicester have 3 difficult fixtures. And I just think Arsenal are top of the ticker. I'm happy to pay $1 million. It's a really weird season where everyone has value, right? So why should I save in the keeper bracket unless it's somebody like what Harry's doing, I know, with his team, where he's pushing up the price point to afford an 8 million midfielder. I get it. But if I'm not high on 8 million midfielders as much right now, I don't think it's worth going there. And if you can get to a Ramsdale, I think he's just really, really good for the first 8 game weeks.
I agree. Yeah, good fixtures for Arsenal. Best of luck, Praz, on your 5th top 10k, is that right?
Yes. Yes, it could be the fixture.
Yeah, best of luck. Hope it plays out.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good luck to you guys.
Praz, ladies and gentlemen, great to get his insight. Question from George. He says, Saka and Raya or Martinelli and Edison? What do you think of that one?
Martinelli and Edison.
Yeah, well, if you've got Ward in there and you don't have to play Raya game week 1, I think I'm going Saka and Raya.
There's $1 million difference between them.
Yeah, there is a price difference as well there actually. Martinelli and Edison about $1 million cheaper. Overall points-wise, Raya I think from game week 3 is nice, but the first couple put me off a little bit. It's pretty close. Again, I'd probably go Martinelli and Edison to save that $1 million. If they were the same price, I'd probably swing the other way, but I'd go Martinelli and Edison.
Good answer, thank you. Keep the questions coming in. Thank you everyone who has tuned in so far. We've got just shy of 2,000, 1,995. And we've got FPL Nima to join us here to reveal his team. So let's have a look at FPL Nima's team. You smashed it last season. Where did you finish last season, Nima?
895.
800, top 1K?
Yeah, my first top 1K, best season yet.
Yeah. If you guys aren't aware, FPL Nima is on the Net That Hall podcast as well, which I strongly recommend. I was trying to remember the name of your new Arsenal pod. What's it called again?
Arsenal Bite Size Podcast. Yeah, I just started it, 3 episodes in, yeah.
Yeah, he's just started it. Go check that out as well. Let's take a look at Nima's team. There it is. Nima, talk us through your team, mate.
Yeah, so last night I made 2 changes for the first time in weeks. I took Sanchez out and put Raya in goal, and I changed Zinchenko to Gabriel. You may see me still switch Gabriel back to Zinchenko in the next 45 minutes. It's still a temptation.
You're not locked in yet? There's still potential
Not locked
changes?
in yet, not yet. But I like Mount. I'm hoping Harry will reassure me that Mount is at least nailed at a minimum. And I don't expect him to guarantee points, but I just want to know he plays.
Oh yeah, I think talking about Chelsea particular lineups, I think this week it's easier than it will be. I think Mount, Havertz, Sterling, I think we'd all be very surprised if that's not the front three this weekend.
I agree with that. It's a very, very nice team. And what's really worrying me is everyone's on Haaland but me. I'm the only one that's on there.
So what I will say is I loved your new show with the experts teams, and it was interesting to see that Kane was picked by like 64% compared to just 26% ownership in like overall ownership. So I think when you look at like the kind of more veteran players, they are mainly going for Kane, and perhaps there's a plan to move to Haaland later on. So I don't think you've done anything wrong. You've gone for a proven asset. For me, I don't want to make a move in Game Week 2. I want to have 2 free transfers in Game Week 3, yeah.
We've got some Nima fans in the chat.
All right, who's about?
Plan FPL says yes, Nima.
Oh, wow.
I actually wanted to shout out Plan FPL because he set up this little ticker. You can see at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, amazing. Oh, he set up the ticker. I love that. What do you think tonight then, Oscar? Like, obviously, last season I was at Fest and I had to watch the Arsenal game on my phone and it didn't go so well. And as a fellow Gooner, I'm wondering how you're feeling for this game.
I think we're going to start this season a lot better. I think we're going to have a much, much better season. I think we're going to come top 4 even, I would say. We looked really, really good in pre-season. It's obvious that Lacazette was holding us back. Jesus is a huge, huge signing. We look so much better going forward. So, yeah, I think I like the double up. Harry's on the triple up, by the way.
I was going to ask,
he's on the triple up.
There is one other weird tinker I could do, which is kind of like Gabriel to Walker, Mount to Saka, triple attack. I love the look of that, but I do wonder if it's 2 weeks too early because it's really the Bournemouth game in Game Week 3 that I want that for. What do you think?
You're saying it's 2 weeks too early, yet you're owning Mount for Everton and Spurs. Like, I feel like owning Mount, if you're going to own him, you need to own him long term, or after 3 and 4 onwards, not to sell him. If you're going to go Game Week 1 and 2, Leicester at home, Leicester's defence looks in pieces, especially for Fana goes. Again, like I go back to it, Jesus is by far the best 8 million forward. Saka for me over the first 4 or 5 is probably arguably with Diaz plus Rob Robertson, so that's fine, the best 8 million midfielder, and then we all agree on Martinelli being the best 6 million. So I just hope it doesn't go badly tonight, but I still back it over their first 5 weeks.
What do you think about Gabriel Zinchenko? So the reason I went Gabriel was just for the X minutes, and also because obviously Palace and Leicester, they concede a lot of chances from set pieces and corners. Zinchenko could lose that spotlight when Tierney comes back, and that's what kind of worries me. That's probably the only position in my team today that could still change back to Zinchenko. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think you spoke about it, Ross, saying that you prefer Gabriel to Zinchenko.
Yeah, it's literally expected minutes and also goal threat as well. And like you say, from Palace and Leicester so poor from set pieces. And I genuinely do think when Zinchenko moves into the midfield, I think that makes him a worse asset. He's going to be playing the Xhaka role, right?
I think he's a better asset at left back than
So I just think with Gabriel, you know what you get him. But I mean, you should know. So you're the one. You're the one to ask. But yeah, I think Gabriel's probably the one for me.
He scored against Palace last season as well from a header. Yeah.
He just even in pre-season, he just looks so dangerous from set pieces.
There's a few questions. What's your Twitter handle? Is it just at FPL Nima? No underscore. Yeah, it's just at FPL Nima if you want to follow Nima. He's the founder of FPL Meets, if you aren't aware. He's revolutionised the FPL space with the FPL Meets movement. So thank you for that as well, Nima.
So Oscar came to his so Oscar just in the last quarter, he came to his first ever FPLB up in January, I think it was, before you went full-time YouTube, and it was such a pleasure to meet him. And I promise you, he's not paying me to say this, but He was making like posters, flyers. He did an award ceremony in Gameweek 38. He's been such a just amazing member of the community, and I just love to see that after COVID times we can take our online community offline. So I urge everyone who's watching, wherever you are, whatever city you're in, if you can meet up with a few friends who play FPL and watch the matches together, do it. Even if it's just 2-3 of you to start with, you will love it, and the community will just keep growing in your city. So go for it and make it happen, guys. You're never going to regret that.
Can't mind. That was the infamous game where it was the Watford double game week. That was my first FPL meetup. It was the Watford double game week.
Fantastic.
I rocked up and they were like, well, who's your captain? I was like, it's Dennis, obviously. He's got double game week, and they got that red card like 20 minutes in. We were all like,
sold Ronaldo for Dennis that week.
You saw Ronaldo for Dennis.
And I already had Kane.
It was awful. Yeah, King got 1 point, I think, that double game week. Yeah.
Before we go any further, anyone in the chat, make sure you've liked and subscribed to Focal as well. I think probably the best looking content in the community. Every time I see his stuff, it is just like HD. Best looking content, not best looking person.
I would say best looking content creator.
I was going to say,
maybe give them both.
Maybe best looking content, but best looking content creators sitting to my left, these three.
Anyway, make sure you've liked the stream and subscribed if you haven't already.
Oh, thank you.
You said you've already passed 100k.
90k. I think we hit 90k while we were setting up to go live, so thank you for that.
Yeah. Let's get him up.
Yeah.
Needs that 90k, 100k, deserves it.
I'm humbled by my following, yeah. To me, it's still crazy that so many people are interested in the content I make. Raptor, a massive question here. Is that a rum and coke that you were drinking?
It is a rum and coke.
It is?
Of course it's a rum and coke.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
What are you drinking tonight, Nima?
So I've gone from a lager to a cider to a gin and tonic. I'd love the chat to recommend what I go to next before I mix too much.
Yeah, mix of drinks, you're going to be in a state later.
I might still make a few more rogue transfers. So one last thought. I'd love to get your free opinions on this. I really respect your opinions. I could lose the 8 million slot and Mount could become Leon Bailey, and I could get James instead of Gabriel and Ramsdale instead of Raya. I'd have 1.5 million in the bank. I don't know which 8 million mid I want. I wonder if 2 free transfers or a -4 in Gameweek 3 lets me get the actual 8 million mid I want later on, and I strengthen. So really it's kind of like Gabriel and Mount versus, say, James and Bailey. Bailey plays obviously Bournemouth. They have 2 fit centre-backs. It is appealing, but I'm more of a kind of team structure kind of guy. I don't know if it sounds flexible enough for you guys.
For me, I feel like you need to have one 8mm midfielder, because we've got like 6 or 7 8mm mids this season, which is something that I don't remember before. There's so many players at that one price point. You know, an extra 0.5, and you've got Bowen as well. So I feel like you need to have an 8mm mid myself just to cover that price point. Otherwise, it's awkward. You're 2 moves away from getting to an 8mm mid. That's what I think anyway. I wanted to play a quick game with chat. For me, Nima, get involved as well. I've face swapped 2 footballers. Guesses in the chat if you can tell who these 2 footballers are.
One's Fabinho.
Is it a Dan James and Fabinho? No. Who's the Leeds player with like blue eyes?
I haven't got a clue.
I can sort of see it, but I can't.
You know the Leeds player with blue eyes or something? I think it's a Leeds player with blue eyes. Like, anyone in the chat, does that sound like...
Guesses in the chat, who do we think it is?
Fabinho and Rams? Oh shit, I think it's Ramsdale.
Ramsdale, yeah. The chat have got it.
Alright, let's do another one.
The chat are good at this.
It's horrible, isn't it? Kill it before it lays eggs, whatever that is. What do you think? Do you know who that is?
I feel like the mouth is what I'm going to guess it by, but I don't know whose it is.
Surely you can get one of them.
One's Grealish.
Yeah, one's Grealish. Whose face has been swapped onto Grealish though. Not Dan James. Not Perisic. Not Greenwood. It was Haaland and Grealish.
Haaland.
Yeah, that's Haaland. Is there one more? Yeah, one more. Here we go. Last one.
Kane?
Kane and...
Yes. 1 sec. Yeah, Kane's one of them. Guesses in the chat if you know who the other one is. Champ, do you know who the other player is?
go get my pizza.
Enjoy.
Wish you guys luck. Make sure you smash like and get
Thanks,
vocal to
Nima.
90k. Yeah, get vocal to 90k for Game Week 1, guys.
Oh, I appreciate that, Nima. Thank you. Yeah, that one was Kane and Bamford. We've got Sham behind us. Sham, come join us. We haven't got his team for the stream, but I want to ask you who you've got. Can we have a look?
I've got 2.5 in the bank.
He's got 2.5 in the bank.
2.5 in the bank.
I thought my 1 mil in the bank.
Guys, balling.
Sham, you can loan us some money. 2.5 million in the bank. I'll just run you through his team. He's got Ramsdale, and then he's got the Trent and Robertson double up, Cancelo, Trippier, good back four. Midfield, he's got Salah, Bailey, Neto, and Martinelli. Up top, it's Kane and Jesus. And then he's got the obviously the template bench: Ward, Andreas, Nico Williams, and Archer. 2.5 million in the bank.
So I like Bailey and Neto to start. That's the reason why. I don't see where else I can upgrade.
Mike. To Sham.
Where else can I upgrade? I've got 2.5 in the bank. I like Bailey and Neto to start.
He's got the Bailey,
I fancy
Neto,
both of them.
Martinelli trio.
Where else do I go? I don't really like James. I prefer Trippier. I'm not sure where else to go.
You know what? I actually like it, Sham. What do you think, Harry?
It gives me flexibility as well next week when bandwagons come up.
I mean, I would upgrade one of them to an 8 million midfielder. That is where you might not want to spend it there, but that's where I'd spend it. Or I'd go Trippier up to a 4.0 and then get an 8 million midfielder in my midfield. Play a 3-5-2 instead. Like 2.5 in the bank feels a lot. Game week 1.
I feel like there's a fine line because I'm like at the moment my team that we showed earlier that's got 1 mil in the bank. I feel like there's a fine line between leaving yourself a little bit of leeway and giving yourself the opportunity to move on to another player, and like not making the most of the money available to you. So I think a million's about as far as I'd want to go.
But which player for Game Week 1 do you think will score more than Bailey and Neto? Both of them have got really good fixtures. I'm not sure which 8 million midfielder would score better.
At a glance, if you've got 2.5 mil, I would say you could go Neto to an 8 mil mid, but I like it. Any 8 mil mid, Mount.
Will score more than Neto, do you think, for Game Week 1?
I wouldn't be surprised. Everton look in bad shape. But don't listen to me, half an hour before the deadline. It's a very good team.
The thing is, you can get to any £8 million mid before they rise, right? So you still got that price point available to you there if you want to move there. It's just, yeah, I just think that you go for the quality. It's not a bad team at all. It's not bad. I would make one upgrade probably.
One last question, Kane or Haaland?
God, good question. So, in case you didn't hear, Nima says Kane or Haaland.
We're on Haaland, I think, just due to the No, Oscar's on Kane.
I'm on Kane as well, mate.
We're just thinking captaincy in Game Week 2, really.
Yeah, but what about if you do Kane to Haaland next week?
Then you're booking in future transfers, and then, like I said, from Game Week 3 onwards, you might want Kane back. You've also got to use that 2.5 million. You've got all of these things that you want to do with your team. I think you'll just get to a stage where you're taking 2 or 3 hits in the first few weeks.
Thank you.
It's a great team, though. Yeah, no, it's fine, Shannon. Don't worry about it. Cheers, mate. Thanks for getting involved.
I can smell food. We're already hungry.
I can smell food as well. We're all very hungry. We haven't had dinner yet. So as soon as we wrap up this stream, we're going to have some dinner. But
guys, you've only got half an hour till the deadline.
Yeah.
I would get those teams locked in the next sort of 10-15 minutes.
In case you guys missed it, I just launched a website I wanted to quickly shout out, fplfocal.com. You chuck in your name here, and look at this, Harry.
Oh no, Harry's putting you in an Arsenal kit.
I'm on triple Arsenal, so it could be worse. It could be a Spurs kit.
If you want to try it out.
It could be a Tottenham kit. Let's not go there.
I've got every team that was ever in the Premier League, so past and present. Every season since they joined the Premier League as well, so you can go all the way back with Spurs.
That one there, a little bit left, that's the one that gets a real...
Back to the HP days.
Yeah. Whatever the kit they wore in the Battle of the Bridge, that's the one that really gets me. Flashbacks.
Raptor, I was actually looking at some of the old Man United kits, and you've got some absolute classics. Like some of these take me back to the Ronaldo days before he left you first time round.
My favourite is like the 1997 sort of times, which is about the year I was born. But it's the equivalent of this. You have got like the retro one in that one, yeah. That's sharp with the sharp logo as well. Looks so good. Yeah, Man United have had some good kits in the past.
Is that this season's?
Yeah, this is this season's. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you think they've deliberately tried to replicate?
Yeah, they've definitely. It's too close. It's too close to. I think they're trying to bring back the sort of retro, even like with the collar and stuff like that. They've tried.
It's fplfocal.com, Ian Walker. Who's got the nicest kit this season?
I genuinely think this United guy. I also like the Arsenal third kit. The pink one's quite nice.
Yeah, Arsenal smashed it this season.
Yeah, I like Palace's kit as well.
I've just ordered one of these. The Arsenal's third.
Yeah, I think
Arsenal's away kit
as a trio, I think Arsenal got the nicest three kits probably.
You can let me know in the chat who do you think's got the nicest kit this season. I actually really like City's their home kit. I think that's actually really nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it.
Worst kit by far is Tottenham away.
Oh, it's gross. It's so bad. So bad.
What were they? I don't understand.
It's Nike as well. Yeah. Nike have just gone, I can't be bothered with that kit.
And these are like, there's millions and millions of pounds on the line with these kits, and I can't believe they come up with like this sort of thing. I feel like I could chuck something better together in 5 minutes. But anyway, that's Tottenham's away kit. fplfocal.com if you wanted to check that out. Jack Milner says Ward or Raya to start Gameweek 1. Ward or Raya Gameweek 1.
I don't know, to be honest. I think that's a 50-50 call. To predict what you think the fixture's going to do, as if you weren't playing FPL, and then whichever team you think is going to keep a clean sheet, go that way. Because I think we get our biased FPL minds on, but I mean they're playing each other.
Yeah, they're playing each other. Leicester's at home, obviously, but
I feel like Brentford are the better defence. I feel like I'd go Raya.
Yeah, Raya.
I'd be on Ward. Home fixture over the away fixture. Not much more than that.
And you're lining up with
and I am starting up with Ward, Ward. But I have Sanchez away United, it's a little bit different. With Harvey Barnes looking like he's not going to be fit for Leicester for a while as well, could maybe favour going with Raya in goal, but that home fixture. Something I noticed with my team, and I look at everyone else's teams, there's so many away fixtures in Game Week 1 for all the players you're picking.
Yeah.
I've got 2 home fixtures in my Game Week 1 team, and I think this is more than most people.
I think mine's very similar. Yeah, it feels like the assets you want to have are all playing away in Game Week 1, which perhaps might end up in them underperforming relative to how we want them to do. But yeah, I noticed that as well. I've probably got 8 or 9 away fixtures. For me, it's just Kane. I've just literally got Kane at home, and that's it.
I've locked myself in. I've locked in.
Mr. Super Chat, Tree Fandela. Sorry, mate. Ask it again, Tree Fandela. I'll try and spot it. Super Chat from Mo Fahad as well, but it got retracted, so don't know what that was. They're probably having a dig at me. Super Chat, it just says message retracted. Have I locked my team? Yes, I have. It's the same team I had in my team selection video.
I think we're all locked in now.
I think we're locked in now, yeah.
I'm not going to make any changes.
Yeah.
Locked in on triple Arsenal attack. Oh no.
Yeah, that's it. What could go wrong? What time's the Arsenal game? Is it 8 o'clock or 8 o'clock kickoff? Yeah, Damsky says there's full 11s playing away. One home game for Lot J-Pop. WF says Drogba or Eto'o. Drogba or Eto'o, that's an interesting one.
You're going to go Drogba.
I feel like I shouldn't answer this as a Chelsea fan, although they both played for us.
Yeah.
I would pick Drogba, but
I'd probably just about lean Eto'o, but they're both.
I would probably go Drogba. Although he didn't always put up the numbers,
he stepped up in the big games.
He was stepped up in the big games, yeah. That's it. Keep your questions coming in. We've got 20 or so minutes till the deadline. Max says, what's your thoughts on Grealish and Johnny? Grealish and Johnny. So Johnny Wolves, Grealish City.
I'm not that keen on either of them, to be honest. I was keen at the start of the season. I think for now, they're both probably avoids.
I would agree. What do you think?
yeah, again, like Grealish in that Shield game didn't look good enough. I don't think he'll start the weekend because of it. And Johnny's okay as a 4.5, but playing a back four, I don't trust him as much defensively.
Yeah. And there's a question from Chris. He says Perisic or Dina.
I think Luka Dean, but I would add Trippier in there, and I'd probably pick Trippier.
Yeah, I think Trippier's a good one to chuck in.
I would add Trips, yeah.
For me, it's Dina, Trippier, and then Perisic in that order. So yeah, my answer would be Dina. What was yours? Dina as well?
Again, out of the two, I'd probably go Trippier. He's the one in my team as well. Perisic, I'm just put off. Quite a cautious manager, but I'm put off by the press conference.
Makes sense. Keep your questions coming in. To answer that question earlier, it was fplfocal.com. Yeah, well done everyone. Apparently Neto will be FPL Wonder Boys triple captain Gameweek 1. Apparently he's on 5,200 likes now, so yeah, good luck to Wonder Boy. He's already going to triple captain Neto Gameweek 1. I don't think we got the chance to speak to him, but Ed is obviously one of the organisers of Fest, and this is his team, and it's a very, very interesting team. What do you think about Ed's team?
Well, Ed is a Newcastle fan, right? So that's probably why he's got Almiron and Trippier in there. I mean, we've got Trippier, but I'm not convinced by Almiron. What do you think?
Well, he was saying to me like, what 5 mil midfielder should I have? And I said pretty much everyone's on Bailey. There is Almiron, and his eyes lit up when I said Almiron because he's a Newcastle fan. So yeah, he's on Almiron, and I don't think that's going to change now. Yeah, what do you think? It's an interesting one because he's gone freemium as well.
Generally, it's a very good team. I'm a bit disappointed because Ed's teams are normally an absolute mess. I feel like he's actually going to try this year. Because last year he was like 1.6 million for like most of the season. So I feel like he's going to get. It's a good team. I would want to get Cancelo in there, but obviously you have to make sacrifices when you go for a freemium. You got to sacrifice, and I think where he sacrificed here is gone for the 2 cheap keepers, a £5 million mid, and a cheaper defence. But it's a good team.
And Ed's gone for Diaz. There was a question in chat. Good question actually. Diaz or Walker? Who do you rate higher? Diaz or Walker?
If I'm going down to a cheaper City, I'd probably go for Walker. I think Diaz will maybe get a couple more attacking returns across the whole season, and he's better for expected minutes. But I feel like if you drop him from Cancelo, drop all the way down, or go for Ederson. I would probably say like Walker, Ederson, then Diaz for me.
What do you think?
Yeah, I would go the same, and especially if you're on a 3 premium draft as well, like saving that million could be so valuable, but Diaz just doesn't feel like he's worth it. Now, if you want to have that as a placeholder in a 2 premium draft, then I kind of get it a little bit more, but if you're having 3 premiums, having Diaz in there just feels like that million you could spend so much better. In that previous draft, Almiron up to Martinelli, for example, with that million would be a real way to strengthen it.
Exactly, yeah. And J-Pop says Almiron's just pre-season form. Yeah, and historically Almiron's never been like an FPL asset. I'd be surprised if it suddenly changes. So yeah, I think sometimes you have to be careful how much you buy into pre-season.
Yeah, his underlying data last season was really bad. Like I'm talking like worse than like some defensive midfielders. So yeah, everything would point towards Almiron like regressing back to the form we've seen in the past.
Another question, from Hibbs for you. Dina or Cash?
It's Luca Dean for me. He's got more routes to points. His expected assists are a lot higher, but Matty Cash has higher expected goals. So I think Cash will get more goals across the season, but I don't think either of them will score a lot.
Yeah.
And I just think Luca Dean's points will be more reliable because he's on set pieces and he crosses more than Cash does.
That was it for me as well. I feel like Dina probably offers slightly more going forward.
Yeah.
There's not much in it, to be fair. It's kind of a coin toss decision. I remember last season there was a couple of game weeks in a row where Dina, when Cash put up double-digit points for 3 game weeks in a row, he got something like 45 points over the space of 3 game weeks. But outside of that, he didn't really do much. So for me, I think Dina, but it's a short-term pick for me.
I've got a question because I've got exactly the same bench as you, Oscar. And this is for the chat as well. What order are we putting the bench in? Like, hopefully we won't need them in game week 1, but I genuinely don't know what order to put Williams, Andreas and Archer in, because obviously fixtures-wise you put Archer first, but minutes-wise you put Andreas first, right? So let us know in the chat what you think. If you've got a similar bench, Williams, Andreas and Archer, like what order would you put those players in?
I've got Nico first. I'll be incredibly surprised if Andreas gets anything against Liverpool, but
it's because he's on corners, isn't he? Like I could see Fulham scoring a corner.
Good point. There's a question from Craig here. He says, "Here we go, Ramsdale or Sanchez, and blank the 0.5 mil." Ramsdale or Sanchez?
See, I've got Ramsdale, you've got Sanchez. So go on, why have you got Sanchez?
Yeah, divided opinions.
Again, like the Sanchez, Ramsdale for me, I'm worrying about their first 2 fixtures. Palace away and Leicester, I'm not necessarily sure there's clean sheets there. And then after that, the Brighton fixtures become very good and I can rotate him very well with Ward. So I'm quite happy with the 2. Now, if I had the spare 0.5, I might end up going all the way up to Ramsdale, but I don't have it and I'm quite happy with Sanchez and Ward. My only concern is Brighton without Basuma. Without Cucurella, I think they'll be okay. It's without Basuma, but they have had the whole of pre-season to prepare for it. If he'd have gone like a week ago, I don't think I'd have Sanchez in my team. But they've had a whole
sort of month and a half to prep without Basuma, so I think they'll be okay. So I'm quite happy with Sanchez and Ward, but if I had the 0.5 and not triple Arsenal attack, I'd probably end up on Ramsdale.
Another question for you, Harry, or Raptor. The question is, how important is an 8 mil midfielder? He currently doesn't have one in his squad. How important would you say it is?
I think it's useful to have, but as long as there's an easy way to go and get one, if you don't have one, I think that's what's key. If you've really shared all that money around and upgraded 0.5 here, 0.5 there, then I think you need to reconsider that. Because if one of them does well game week 1 or game week 2, you need a route to go and get them. The easiest route to go and get them is to have one anyway, but if you aren't having one, having an easy pick, for example, like a Robertson in your defence, if you really needed to sell, you need to have that route to him. I don't think it's essential, but I think it's very useful.
Apparently Jesus is 77% owned.
This is the thing, and everyone that's signing up last minute is going to log on, see he's owned by that many people, and then put him in. So it's only going to continue to creep up right to the deadline.
Ridiculous. Yeah, they got it completely wrong. Not just with Jesus. I would say this season, there's quite a few players they got it totally wrong with. And on the one hand, I think perhaps they're trying to appeal to everyone because it's easier to build a good team. But on the other hand, it's harder to do well, right? Because everyone's got such a good team. Trent Alexander-Arnold, 7.5 mil.
You're
8.5.
Yeah, you're looking at maybe like 4 or 5 spots in your team that you can actually like get ahead because the other spots are all so highly owned.
This is a really good question on the 5 mil goalkeepers. Surprisingly, again, Mendy came in at 5 mil. I thought it'd be 5.5. Mendy or Ramsdale, which is the better one?
See, for me, it's not necessarily that I don't think Mendy's a good option. It's that I think Reece James is such an excellent option, and I don't want to double up on that defence. So if I want to get into the Arsenal and the Chelsea defence, I think the best combo is Ramsdale and James. If James wasn't fit, I may be tempted by Mendy.
Yeah, so pre-season I was pretty set on Ramsdale over Mendy because of bonus points and save points, etc. But my concern is if Arsenal are going to score more goals this year, then Ramsdale's bonus points potential goes down a lot. I still, with fixtures, would favour Ramsdale out of the two, though.
This is a really good one from Alif, who says, always start Cancelo. And I remember last season, there was a couple of game weeks where Cancelo had a tough fixture, and you think, oh, I'll have to bench him for this. But when you're talking about players like Alexander-Arnold or Cancelo, you absolutely want to start them regardless of the game week because they've always got the potential for the clean sheet, but they've always got the attack and return potential. And I remember last season there was one game week where Cancelo got like a 12-pointer against something like, I think it was against Chelsea or Man City or Liverpool. So yeah, that's a good comment there. I would always start the premium defenders regardless of fixture. Is James essential?
I don't own him, so I hope not.
What's his ownership looking like now? He's 40%. Yeah.
And Mendy's 20%.
Is he? Wow.
Chelsea defence is right.
Still just away at Goodson Park on the opening day, and then Spurs is enough to put me off. I would love to have one, but I'm not selling Trent, I'm not selling Robertson, I'm not selling Cancelo, so they don't really fit.
This is why Raptor, your trophy's been taken.
Oh dear. Hopefully it was by someone that was meant to take it. This is why I'm not on Robertson, right?
I'm not on Robertson because I want Reece James in my team, and
yes, you can get both.
nice bit of space now.
Yeah,
Harry's
I
left.
can breathe.
This is one of the main reasons I've gone Diaz over Robbo, because I do really want Reece James.
But to answer the question, I don't think James is essential at all. But I do still think that maybe due to pre-season, we're maybe not giving him enough consideration still.
What caught my eye is obviously Calvert-Lewin's picked up his injury and he's out for a month, maybe longer. So Everton currently have no recognised striker, right? Rondon's suspended, so I don't know, maybe it'll be like Dele Alli, false 9.
It looks like an even better fixture now.
It looks even better for James.
For sure, and the thing is with James, it's a very cliche thing to say, but you're not just getting him for the clean sheets, you're also getting him for attacking returns as well.
Exactly.
So, and the fact they've signed Cucurella, who can play at left centre-back, that might push Koulibaly over to right centre-back. And also, they've kept Azpilicueta now. So it looks like they've actually got quite a few people that can play centre-back. So I think Reece James is going to be starting at right wing-back as well. And if you saw him in the most recent games for Chelsea, he was so high up the pitch.
Are there any Man United assets that have caught your eye from the pre-season games you've watched, or are you going to wait and see?
Unfortunately, it was Martial caught my eye. He looked like the one to own, but I'm avoiding Man United for now. I just think with Ronaldo coming back, with Martial's injury, with Sancho's illness, etc., I just think we look a little bit shaky to start the season.
I just saw that Simply FPL was in the chat. He just said that he thinks Chelsea will batter Everton
and that he might be considering captain James.
Massive shout from Simply FPL. Yeah, welcome to the stream, Simply.
So
considering captain James, yeah, but Simply's got a reputation.
He is a bit of a maverick. I mean, he's got no Salah, he's got De Bruyne in his team, so.
Oh, De Bruyne.
I think he did in his latest draft, yeah.
Question from Dalu says, what about Pope? He's talking about the 5 mil keeper.
Pope is, one of the members asked that the other day. Pope's someone that we're not giving enough consideration to. If you look at his points in recent seasons, it's absolutely ridiculous. And he's not only a good keeper, he's playing in a defence that we think will do well with good fixtures. And even like the City and Liverpool games, he could make a lot of saves. So I genuinely do think that Pope's someone where we're probably not giving him enough thought, probably.
No, I agree. It's just Gameweek 3 and Gameweek 5 that concerns me, but yeah, I can see him getting a lot of points. And if we're lucky, maybe he could have a Martinez-esque season from a couple of seasons back, right?
Yeah, I think he's someone that we could own at some point this season, for sure.
Newcastle definitely on the up, without a doubt. Yeah, a lot of value there, but we'll see. There was a question from Chris Jones. He says, an 8 mil midfielder or a differential third striker? So I guess we're talking about someone like Bamford, who, by the way, I think Late Riser has in his draft. What do you think? 8 mil mid or a differential third striker?
So you've got Darwin at 9, you've got Kai Havertz at 8, you've got Bamford and Wilson at 7.5. I think there's enough options if you want to take the risk of a striker. Again, it just comes down to what transfers can you see yourself making in game week like 2 to 4. And for me, there's going to be some emerging midfielders. I think more so than the forwards. So. Yeah, for me, I prefer the structure of a midfielder, just about. But I do think that Bamford and Wilson could be excellent options.
So talking about Arsenal, someone's asked, is Saka worth the extra 2 mil over Martinelli? What do you think?
I don't think he is. If I had to only own one, I own both of them at the moment. I'd only own Martinelli. Again, the value that he's got is too good to turn down. I don't think Saka will outscore him by enough for that 2 million investment. Like later on in the season, when we have 102, 103 million to spend, great, let's go Saka over Martinelli. But game week 1, when we've only got 100 million and we need to really pick those bargains to go for, it's Martinelli for me.
I would say the same, but yeah, Saka definitely on my watch list. I think he's going to have a very, very good season. In terms of Game Week 1 predicted points, he narrowly makes it. This is courtesy of FPL Review. It's never in doubt, is it? It's got to be Captain Salah. But yeah, interesting that Saka makes the top 10. Kane and Son. I think Kane and Son are genuine captain options. I think they are being overlooked, but yeah, for me, I think it's got to be Salah. Against newly promoted Fulham, it could be a bloodbath, I think, that one.
Southampton playing a back 5 now as well concerns me a small bit. I think they played back 5 during pre-season as well, so a 5-2-3 or a 5-3-2 depending on how they line up, which is a little bit of a concern, which is another reason why I've gone with Haaland over Harry Kane, because I'm not sure that Southampton at home fixture in Game Week 1 is quite as straightforward as maybe as it seems for Spurs.
Charwala says FPL Harry's team is perfect.
Yes, triple Arsenal tag. Love it.
In fact, let's chuck this one to the chat. Who's got the best team? So you've seen mine. This is my team. I'm going to switch to Harry's next. Woo. That's Harry's team. I'll give you 10 seconds or so to soak in Harry's team. He's gone for the Trent and Robertson at the back. I've gone for a Diaz.
I've got $1 million in the bank.
Right.
I feel like that needs to be...
Yeah, of course. I should mention that. Raptor's got $1 million in the bank. And this is Raptor's team. He's gone for the Trent, Diaz and Salah trio, like myself. Let us know in the chat who you think's got the best team. Simply says, grab a beer on me, lads. He says, the format was very enjoyable. Enjoy your night. Thank you so much, Simply. Appreciate that, definitely.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. We appreciate that very much.
As soon as this stream wraps up, the first thing we're going to do is sink a few drinks and enjoy the rest of our night. Have a pizza, yeah. We haven't had dinner either. Pizza, beers.
Pizza and beers.
That's the plan. Yeah, it's been a great stream so far. We've got less than 10 minutes till the deadline. We appreciate you all tuning in, and if you have enjoyed it, please do hit like and subscribe to the channel. It's the first time I've asked this stream for the likes and subscribes.
We did it for you. This is when you get 3 YouTubers together.
Oh, no.
I'm Team Harry.
Let us know in the chat.
Outrageous.
Team.
This is me and you, yeah. Oscar, mate.
This is your channel as well.
I've not seen a single photo.
This is your channel.
There's one.
Puff, Sam, Samuel say Raptor.
Raptors get.
Jack says Focal.
My team's
a bit worrying that.
Cheers, lads. Thank you very much.
It feels like probably Raptors got the most favourite.
Wait, Kevin said my 2 favourite FPL YouTubers.
Favourite?
Is it about me and you? Is it about me and you? Yeah. Let's that's a typo.
But yeah, I like that you've left 1 mil in the bank. Last season I left £500,000 in the bank, and it does give you insurance.
You're never going to think, I wish I didn't leave money in the bank, right? Whereas you can think the opposite. Like, it's never going to be an issue to have money in the bank. So that's why I've left it this time.
Yeah. Super Soccer Crazy says Podence or Neto. Jimenez out injured. Podence could be out of position. He says thank you for the work we put in, and we've helped him become a better FPL player. Who do you think, Podence or Neto?
I still think Neto, but this is what's put me off Neto and Podence. So I just don't know what's going on at Wolves, like the Jimenez injury, Gibbs White being bid for. It's just a no for me now, unfortunately. But probably Neto still.
What about you, Podence or Neto or neither?
So when we heard that potentially Gibbs White was going to leave, I maybe moved to Podence because I thought it was nailed, but I still think that Podence minutes will be lower because Hwang will want to play through the middle and it will be Podence. He could go out wide, but there's too much uncertainty there when I know that Neto's on set pieces as well on some of them. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go start with Neto, a bit assured one there.
Makes sense. Is Mahrez an option, or would you rather Diaz and Mount for the same amount of money?
A Diaz amount for me. I don't think he could start, but it's not worth it particularly.
Like they've got similar data to Diaz and Mount. I would just go for the more nailed on players. You have got a 5-minute countdown, by the way, guys. Lock in your teams ASAP because the website could crash. So get those teams locked in before it's too late.
Yeah.
Make sure you've sorted like captaincy and vice captaincy. Yeah. Sort out your bench order. Like sort out the little things that you might not think about. Just make sure it's all sorted.
It's a good point. It's something that I've overlooked in past seasons. Is the order of your bench. You never know when you can have an unexpected player not play.
Just take a few minutes to think about your bench. It's always worth it. You never know. And vice captaincy as well. We think Salah's fine. Just in case he's not, make sure you put your vice on someone that you actually want to captain.
Liner says Gabriel or Zinchenko. For me, it's Gabriel. But
yeah, Gabriel for me.
Yeah, there's not much in it, but what I noticed watching Zinchenko in pre-season is he didn't get into positions where you could see him get an attack and return, which is what you obviously want. I noticed interestingly he was even tucking inside and playing centre mid at times, so it felt like perhaps it's not attack and returns there. So Gabriel probably has the goal threat. Zinchenko maybe the assist potential, but Gabriel for me. Neto, 5 minutes on the deadline. Final reminder to lock in your teams, bench in the right order, captaincy sorted. This is the first time we talked about Darwin. Zubia says, is Darwin too much of a punt? What do you two think?
No, not at all. I think he's a great punt. I think he's exactly what you want from a player that you're punting on. The good fixtures, good data, going to score goals. It's just whether you think he starts or not. But if you think he starts, then I think he's one of the best punts out there.
What do you think, Harry?
For me, he's an absolute no-go. Like those Klopp press conference quotes was enough again to put me off. He said he put him into that City game so he could feel the pace of the Premier League and how it's going to react. I don't necessarily think he gets thrown in at the weekend. And again, as soon as shot is back, there could be as early as game week 3. He's got another piece of competition. It's just too much when you've got a player like Diaz or Robertson that are both cheaper and for me are more nailed and is equally good at scoring points. I wouldn't go there personally.
I would agree with that. Kinga says Cancelo and Pereira or Neto and Walker with 1 million in the bank. Which combination do you prefer?
I would be on Cancelo and Andreas probably. I just think Cancelo is such a great option. He's a massive upgrade on Walker. So any combination with Cancelo.
Thank you, Raptor, giving me for the donation. There's no message, but thank you for that. I'm the dude says you guys are the best premium draft I've seen.
That's what I love to hear.
Thank you for that. Yeah, it's been a really enjoyable stream. Thank you everyone that has tuned in and for all the questions and everything else. 3 minutes. Oh, I'm feeling nervous.
Just making sure those teams are locked, guys. Don't make any mistakes in game week 1.
How many times can I refresh my team?
I say that. Yeah, we're just sat here just refreshing
I need to check
our
mine
teams.
just to make sure what I've got on screen is actually my correct final team.
Refresh it. Make sure it's locked in.
Let's have a look. Is the site down? I'm looking good. Yeah. So I'm on Kane, no Haaland for me. These two are on Haaland if you missed it.
Start Ward or Sanchez, I'd start Ward. Is Sancho fit? It looks like he'll be fine. Neto versus Almiron, I would go Neto. Peppa Pig or Almiron? Peppa Pig.
Yes, Harry, this is my locked-in team. Jordan says the drip is class.
What's that?
The drip is class, especially the Man United shirt. Peppa Pig or Amram? What even was that question? Yeah, Peppa Pig. James Hale says Ford is injured on Twitter. Too late to research that one, if that's correct or not.
There's a little fishing emoji after anyway.
Let me double check if my Palace source has got the lineup or not.
What's that super chat?
2 secs. Nothing there. So super chat. Archer, Mount or Martinelli and Mitrovic.
He's close. Anyone think we should bench?
If you've got another £8 million mid, then the latter. If not, I'd go for Mount just to get that £8 million mid.
I mean, it completely depends how many of them he needs to start. If he only needs to start one, then it's Archer and Mount, whereas if he needs to start both, it's Martinelli and Mitro.
Yeah, Mount and me. Question from Daniel Murray says, predictions tonight, what do we think?
3-1 Arsenal.
Yes, love that.
Yeah, I'll go with that as well. I'm quite happy with that. I'll take that.
I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal. Jesus is going to score. His ownership is going to push 80% come Gameweek 2. Martinelli with an assist. I'll say that. That's what I hope happens as an owner of both.
1 minute.
Lock it in.
Last question. Is Vardy a good shout?
Yes, love it.
Yeah.
Al Barnes is pretty nailed now, but again, it's a price point a lot of us don't have.
30 seconds to go. I think I'm hearing. They're doing like a countdown on the stage behind us in the background as well. I'm really curious to see whether Mark Southerns genuinely went no Salah.
He did. It was on stage. No Salah.
No Salah for Mark Southerns. One of the greatest managers of all time. He's got 4 top 500 finishes. FPL fellas next to me. How we doing? Captain Salah? Of course. Any
Got to do the countdown with
make
them.
your team or no? No Hammers.
20 seconds, 10 seconds.
That's it. By the time they see this, that is the deadline. We made it. Locked in. Let us know in the chat if you are locked in. I can hear the countdown behind us.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Side crash. He can't get onto it. No. He can't get onto it. Oh no. Sham, what have you done? It's crashed, Riley. Why is he making decisions last minute? What have you done? Oh, we made it.
You'll find out in 4 hours when the game plays.
Locked in.
Locked in. Right.
All I'm going to say, guys, is if you've not got Haaland in your team, then it doesn't say Bournemouth at home.
You're already going to be very nervous. I'm looking at Oscar now. He's going to open his team ahead of Gameweek 2 and it's going to say Kane to Chelsea and there's going to be no Haaland in there.
True, I didn't think that far ahead.
1 week at a time, 1 week at a time.
Right, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. This has been so fun. I think I've almost lost my voice already. Thank you everyone who's tuned into it. It's been an absolute cracking stream. As I said earlier, I've tagged Raptor and Harry in the title of this video. If you're not already, please go subscribe to them. They are exceptional managers. So yeah, go check them out. Thank you boys for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Harry, thank you mate. Raptor, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for inviting us on.
For joining us. I really enjoyed it and I'll see you soon for the next one. We're going to go get smashed. See you soon for the next one. Focal out.
And then show you how to actually enter a team on the app. So first up,
go check them out. Thank you boys for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Harry, thank you mate. Raptor, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for inviting us on.
For joining us. I really enjoyed it and I'll see you soon for the next one. We're going to go get smashed. See you soon for the next one. Focal out.
what's different to FPL and then show you how to actually enter a team.